Solo dolo slide. If it ain't about money, you know I don't got the time. My brother died 10 and my partner just took 5. We still say our prayers cause we thankful he alive. My loyalty run deep, all I know is ride or die. Pressure on the line, hit my phone, ride or die. That my brother, that my king, ride or die. You show what we going on. My loyalty run deep, all I know is ride or die. Pressure, we don't really feel no pressure. Home team, I ain't really.
What's good, great people? I am Ezel Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Inventor from San Antonio, Texas. Not only that, but man, he's an educator as well. He's also my son's uncle, twice removed.
Jason Eller.
How you doing? How's it going?
Man, welcome to the show. I'm so thankful that you actually came, man. You drove into town. How was the drive, brother?
It was an easy drive. The highway, no one's on the roads now,
Right.
so it was just hitting cruise control the whole way almost.
Hey,
so it wasn't too bad.
No, I feel you on that one, man. Cruise control keeps you out of the eyes of the
right.
police.
That's right, yeah, you got that right.
For those who don't know, who is
Jason Eller.
And, how did the idea of Strike Coach come about?
So basically, before I became a teacher, I was a certified personal trainer at the YMCA. I was also a boxing coach there.
Right.
So I was training, someone who used to be a mentor of mine. He was a medical doctor. He was hitting the punching bag, and he asked me, where am I hitting this thing? So I said, well, right about here's the body. This is where the head would be. And then he asked me, well, how hard am I hitting it? And I said, there's not really a metric for that right now. So he said to me, don't you think that's a problem? And it was just like a light bulb went off. So I went home, drew up some informal drawings. I came back a couple of days later, showed him kind of what I had in my head. And he said, I think you have $1 million idea. And then from there, he told me where I should be focusing my attention, which areas of the brain that we should be detecting the force. So, and the way he put it to me, which I think it sounds great, is it's like having a Ferrari without a speedometer. You know, when you're punching a punching bag, you don't know what you're doing, how fast you're going, no metric. So for the first time, we have that in a striking mannequin.
Of course, man. That's actually amazing. Now, whenever someone says, hey, you have $1 million idea, people don't really go for it.
Right.
What made you separate yourself from those who would just sit with their idea and those who are like yourself?
Well, the hardest part for me, anybody, is the follow through, like you said. So, for me, it took me about 3.5 years to get where I'm at, to have my patent, to have the product developed. It didn't happen overnight, and nothing was easy. It was an uphill battle. Even when I was awarded the patent, the examiner, the guy who was examining my claims on the patent, we had to get into a little bit of an argument. Eventually, I was awarded all 25 claims. He initially only wanted to give me 2 of my claims, and I had to explain to him why the claims on this patent were original. And he thought it infringed on prior art, which after the discussion, he realized that it didn't.
Nice.
So, like I said, nothing was easy. The whole process, it was tough, but what I would tell everyone is 1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time, and work on it every day. Do something positive for your product or whatever you're trying to do every day, and you'll keep moving forward.
Of course. Problem does your invention solve? If you were to be specific.
Okay, so it's twofold. So
Okay.
first, it's a training apparatus.
All right.
So it teaches people how to be more efficient and effective strikers. And the way it does that is it's the first product to combine force detection with footwork. So every time you strike the mannequin, it tells you how hard the mannequin was hit in G-forces. And then at the same time, when you're striking it, it's manipulating your footwork through motorized movements. So it's the most objective data you could possibly get. You're not just hitting something that's stationary. You're hitting something that's moving while you're moving, which is the closest simulation to a real fight. And it's a different kind of data. So That's the first benefit. And then the second, there's a medical benefit to it. And in the patent, one of the claims that I was awarded is establishing tolerance curves as a method of the product. And the way that would work is I came up with a correlative formula where you correlate the impact with a sensor in the wrist of the glove with the sensor in the mannequin's brain. So now I know when I hit something with a certain level of G-forces, the reading in my glove, well, I correlate that reading with the reading in the mannequin's brain, and then it also measures the vector of your punch, so the area where you struck the mannequin. So if now, with hitting the mannequin, if you hit me in that same area in the face at the same level of force you hit the mannequin, then we know what's going on in my brain, in the corpus callosum region of my brain, because that's where we're detecting the force from these strikes that are landed.
Nice. I feel like for this interview in particular, I'm gonna have to have a bunch of subtext, with explaining
I could break it down. I mean, I know I'm kind of just crazy, but
no, man, no. Trust me, I love it sincerely because I would love to. I love to do research on these things as well.
Well, and the cool thing about it is these are a new set of tolerance curves, and what makes them original again is the movements. So now when we establish our tolerance curves, the way we would do that is you hit the mannequin 10,000 times in different areas of the head at different levels of force, and that's how we establish our curves. Now the way we would use it in real competition is now, let's say me and you, I'm competing with you in boxing or mixed martial arts. Now, when you hit me in a certain area with a certain level of force, we look at the G-force in your glove, where you struck me, then we could look at our curves and determine what impact that force had on my brain based on where I was struck in the level of force. So you can use this in the real world. It's a real world simulation. And the correlative formula, I have it for every sport. So for football, boxing, hockey, any contact sport. I think this is a product that will get picked up. And really, someone like your son's godfather, I think if he saw this and saw everything it did, I think he would hop on this. And hopefully you're watching this, Mark Cuban.
So let's say your invention, was picked up by Walmart retailers today, do you think you would still be teaching?
I love teaching. I mean, I come from a family of teachers, but what I would do is, my goal, and I've talked about it with some of my other partners, our ultimate goal is we want to establish an innovation hub in San Antonio, Texas. And it would be like a full service hub. So people would come in, we teach them how to write the patents, how to develop their products, how to file the patents, and the whole process. So it would be a true one-stop shop for innovation. I've been to other innovation hubs around the country, and they'll just tell you, oh, see a patent lawyer for this. If you came to us, and my vision is it's a one-stop shop, we're gonna help you the whole way, from writing the patent to developing the product.
Of course. I love that, man. I love that. I'm definitely going to be speaking into existence your success.
All right. Because I like that.
Hey, look, as soon as somebody says, hey, I'll definitely come on this, I'm rooting for you all the way.
Awesome.
But I definitely want to, just talk about a couple of things. When it comes to educating, as teachers, we try to not only just educate the student, but we try to educate the whole person.
Right.
Recently, there was an article that was published by Emily Donaldson in the Revard Report discussing racism in Alamo Heights High School, where young Caucasian females were using racial slurs in video uploaded to the internet. Have you ever had to address the issues of race with your students? And if not, why?
Okay, yes I have, and on two levels. Of course, being a history teacher, so talking about it from a historical standpoint, which any history teacher should really be doing. And then on a personal level, I did have a student in one of my classes. We were doing an assignment, and he said, I'm not gonna effing do this N-word to me, the teacher in the class.
Right.
So I said, close your book, get up, get out of the room, and I'm gonna deal with you in a second. He said, no, I'm not leaving. So I buzzed the office, the school I'm at, we have a behavior unit. Right. So when I buzzed the office, they sent someone, and he finally got up when I buzzed the office. So I went out there, talked with him, and I said, why are you talking like that? What's the purpose? What are you getting out of it? And he just, gave me an attitude, just, whatever, basically.
Right.
So the woman, one of the people from the behavior unit, I explained to her what happened, and he kind of looked down. She was a black woman too, so she really wasn't appreciating that, just like me. And I told him, I'm gonna call your mother and father. I'm gonna let them know how you're talking in here. And he said, I don't care. I called his mom and dad. They were in disbelief. Like, they could not believe it. So he was acting like, oh, whatever.
Right.
And, so they said, we're going to talk to him. So the next day he came in, and he kind of just was more timid, but he never apologized. I said, do you have anything to say? You have anything to apologize for? And his stance was, I'm just gonna do my work. I'm here to do my work. I didn't mention this. This was actually a white kid too.
It was a white kid that used the N-word to you?
Yes, and like I said, I blew up. Disregard and disrespect for me. What? I mean, so some of it, I think it's just how kids are growing up.
Right.
Parents today, they want to be friends with their kids. They don't teach them how to act and how to be.
Why do you feel like people are so apprehensive when it comes to having those conversations about race, especially when it comes to their children?
You know what? I think it's the toughest conversation because it's the realest conversation, something we all face every day in one way or another. I'm Puerto Rican and Jewish. We came from Russia, my family.
Right.
I had people who served during World War II, because they couldn't stand what was happening to the Jewish people during the Holocaust. So no, I get it. I understand discrimination, and my people, Jewish people, we've been discriminated against for forever. Really, I mean, the Holocaust, slavery is atrocious. The Holocaust, they tried to commit genocide and murder everyone. So just like I said, we know what it's like. The difference though with Jewish people is I think we can hide behind our skin tone. So the Ku Klux Klan, the white supremacists, they hate Jewish people. They hate me as much as they hate you. The difference is they don't know what I am. And I think that's a reality too that nobody really talks about. So
that's a very solid point that you just made there. That you're right. There are people that are hated by white supremacists that can hide behind their skin tone. Whereas for me, I can't. This is all I got.
And it's not to say we're hiding.
Right.
We're not hiding from anyone. But just if me and you are walking down the street and one of those types of people are looking at us, they're going to distinguish you from me. But if they knew if I had a sign or a Star of David on my arm, they'd be coming after both of us.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Thank you for addressing that, man. Sincerely. Now, when it comes to the funds that you will receive from STRIKECOACH, because I know it was going to blow up. After this,
your lips to God's ears.
Hey, man, you already know. I'm speaking your success into existence. Now, and also if you're an MMA or martial arts, in any form of martial arts, please make sure you guys check out STRIKECOACH.
That's right.
When it comes to this, the funds that you receive, you said that you would help by creating a hub of people that will teach people how to get a patent and things of that nature.
Well, that's the long term.
That's the long term.
Yes, that's like where I see myself. If everything goes great, and like you said, would I still teach? I would teach, but not as a classroom teacher. I would teach in that regard. Yeah.
So, is there any other way that you feel like you will affect change inside your community?
Yeah, I mean, every day, just being a teacher, mentoring kids, showing them how to act, not only how to think, how to act, like you said, because that's, you could be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't know how to act, no one's going to want to deal with you.
Of course.
I mean, ask Mark Cuban, one of the richest men in the world. He still has to answer to a board of directors. Nobody does what they want. Nobody says what they want. If you want to succeed, you got to do what's right and work at it every day.
You're right. Until you get to a point where, until you get to a point where you're like, hey, now I'm the guy that people have to ask.
But like I said, even him, he's still his own company. He can't do whatever he wants. He has a board of directors. He has to answer to those people.
That makes sense.
So Bill Gates, richest person in the world, or one of them, again, he can't do what he wants, even with his own company. So I think kids need to understand that too. No one does whatever they want.
You're right. Okay, I like that. I definitely like that. I like that. Now, I do have a question. How can your invention, though, help my community?
So the way it could help your community would be, of course, through health, fitness, things like that.
Of course.
And basically, I mean, just through fitness, staying fit, also learning how to defend yourself.
The goal of this show honestly is charity. You know, to bring people's attention to not only just this business that we're at currently, which is the Java Lavender off Cap Wisdom.
Best mixed drink right here. What is this? The Flex on the Beach. This is it right here.
Make sure you guys check that out when you guys get out here. You know, it's not only just to bring attention to this business, but also to draw attention to a charity that you care about, so that somebody that's watching this that is inspired by you, they'll go out and they'll say, hey, you know what? I want to make the world a better place by helping out that charity. What charity are you going to highlight today, and why is the issue that it faces so important to you?
Okay, so the charity, it's called the Ouachita Children's Center, and they're based in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And what it is, it's you know, youth, kids that are under 18, that are wards of the courts. They have nowhere to go, nowhere to live, so they're provided housing, clothing. When I was a boxing coach at the YMCA, I mentored. I used to go to this place a couple times a week. We would do boxing, just show the kids love, things like that. I would take them with me to the Y sometimes. So I have like a personal connection with that group, but they do really good work for people who really need it.
Most definitely, man. I love that. I love that. I love how you are about the kids, man.
Yeah,
sincerely.
absolutely.
That's a blessing, and no matter how high you go, you're still gonna care about those kids and educate those kids. It's just the manner in which you do it is changing.
Right, exactly. That's it. You got it.
I'm here from one teacher to another.
Right. I see you.
Hey, now, do you have any words of wisdom or inspiration for those kids that are coming up behind you that want to be inventors, or that, you know, want to be patent holders, or, you know, any words of wisdom for those?
So what I would say to you guys is, don't give up. It's not going to be easy. You got to do something with this every day. And when you do it, you got to outline the order in which you want to do things. So there's a process to doing it. So when you figure out the order that you're going to go about doing this, and you work at it every day, eventually you will get to that finish line. You will get to where you want to be. But you got to work every day, and some days are going to be rough. You know, I've had some tough days, rough days, and where I got so stressed out, like I couldn't believe it. Like when I was in the argument with my patent examiner. I mean, that was a huge stress to me, but I didn't give up. I could have said I'll take the 2 claims, but no, that wasn't enough for me. I wasn't accepting that.
No, most
so, and that's how, you know, everyone has to be who wants to succeed. You got to push every day, push yourself. Like one of my favorite Eminem, you know, you got to bully yourself.
Don't say
bully yourself. Do what you put your mind to. You got to bully yourself, and that's the truth.
I thought you were going to say lose yourself.
Yeah, nah. Don't ever bully anyone else, but bully yourself.
Right.
Push yourself like you couldn't believe. You'll do things that you never thought possible. And, you know, I'm a perfect example of that. I'm not anyone crazy, but I have my patent. I developed an amazing product. I'm a published author. I got a book published. So just every day, you just got to chip away. And we'll have bad days. You just got to get through them. Then the next day is going to be better than the last if you had a bad last day. And that's the mindset, really.
Amen. Amen. So what's the name of your book?
The Forbidden Love. It's about a prisoner of Auschwitz, and she meets a defector from the Nazi party who's in charge of her labor division at the camp, and they strike an accord, and he tries to help her and her family escape the death grip that Auschwitz has on them, and that's what it's about.
So you brought me a shirt, but you ain't bring me a copy of your book?
I should have brought...
You should have brought me a copy.
Now I feel bad.
I love romance novels.
I'm going to mail you one then.
Hey, no,
I'll mail it.
For real?
I'm for real. I will.
Y'all heard him, right? I'm getting a copy of this book.
You heard it here.
And make sure y'all check out check out his book as well, man. Hey, Jason, thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go out and check out his product. So yeah. I don't know why I'm saying something about this right now, because it's not as if we can't just cut immediately to it. So stay tuned.
Right. Force a habit.
Right.
Force a habit.
Wait. What is it? Star White.
Jason Eller. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jason Eller, on Instagram at StrikeCoach1, and Facebook, STRIKECOACH. And we are starting a Kickstarter campaign, so look for us with that. And you can look at our website to learn more about the product, STRIKECOACH.net.
Man, let me tell y'all something. This right here, great for fitness. Even some of the people that were in here, I gotta get my breath, y'all, sorry. Even some of the folks that were in here, they enjoyed it. I love it, man. I can't wait to see this at Walmart. Hopefully you send me, you know, hopefully you send me one.
Oh yeah, got it.
Y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And never forget, I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. That's it. Sorry. Make sure y'all come to Java Lavender. It's off of Camp Wisdom.
That's right.
Where's
Best
Camp
drinks.
Wisdom?
Best drinks.
Best. Erica Badu, please come here. No, for real. Like, I'm smiling, but for real, I'm gonna get you here one day. Hopefully. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm out, bro. I'm so tired. I'm tired. This is for calling me the N-word of Waxahachie. I ain't forgot that. I forgot. I'm so serious. Like, dude.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you. That concludes this portion, man.
My pleasure. Nah, that was awesome. So
You know anyone that you would recommend to come out here, like to do an interview, anything like that?
I have two people. One of them is our other partner. He's a 100% disabled veteran.
Okay.
He got into a bad accident.
Right.
His brain got all messed up. He had to learn how to walk, crawl. Now he's like, he just got his master's.
Oh.
He's an excellent math teacher, and he's a whiz with freaking numbers. He does all the analytics for us.
Oh, man.
So he had to go from crawling to, he had to relearn everything basically. And he's doing it. He's a great teacher, you know, he's doing this with us.
Yes, sir.
So